All right, bang. Today's Wednesday. It's June 7th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Free swim Wednesday. Here it is, Chief, Danny. How's everyone doing? I'll speak first. I asked you a question, I'm going to answer.
All right, go ahead, Dave.
I pulled the old White Sox Dave. The vibes are high, I feel.
Yeah. You're feeling good.
Well, I mean, it's crazy how you just add more people into the mix. And It's like...
I was just saying, Danny, I really enjoyed it. We just finished the Tuesday mid show. I had fun. It was a good time. Yeah.
New faces, always better.
Jeff DeLoe, Spider,
Chef Donnie.
Everyone's just buzzing around. It's a great time.
Energy is high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
How like much life there is in this place now.
We're talking like we had 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like a crossover episode slowly happening. Family Guy and Simpsons.
It's honestly, I have like mixed feelings, if I'm being totally honest, about everybody coming, a little bit of like trepidation about like how it's going to play out. Today's made me feel better about that. Like I think it's going to be good to just do more stuff with more people and just have more people in the mix and more opportunities. It's going to be good. Yeah.
It's weird that it's happening. It's actually happening.
Because it is. I remember when Dan left and we weren't even really working here. But when he left in 2016, I remember being on G-Chat with him. He's like, yeah, I'll be back in 4 years. And it got to be 5 years. And then it was like, yeah. And then at that point, we were full-time. And he would talk about it, but I never like took it seriously. And then it was like, oh, shit. Like, it's happening. And then now it's here.
He'd give us like the floaters. He's like, all right, I'll say this. Yeah. Next year, I'll be back and forth. And the next year after that, I'll be back full time. And then that didn't happen, I remember.
Right.
So I was like, shit. But you always knew it, like he was very serious about it.
But I never anticipated like him bringing a posse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So
vibes are high.
Yeah.
Vibes are high. It's great to have everyone.
I feel like we're going to look back on this era, like us moving in this office is such a weird one. We've been here like 2 years? Like what are you going to remember most about this office specifically?
Same thing with Farmers Insurance too.
But there was some memorable moments there.
Yeah.
And like it was so shitty that you can't forget it if you tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I mean, this office is great, but again, it's just a short time span and like the White Sox Dave challenges.
Do you? I need more time on that.
Yeah. And someone was asking me a similar question about like, like you're moving out of that office, you're moving to this big office. Like, aren't you like so happy? Are you going to miss the office you're in now? And I'm like, I don't really have any sort of like sentimental value about this.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Like it's the old place was like we fucking grinded. We're sitting around that little table, the 4 of us in the first, several months there. We were just in one tiny box room. And then you got us the bigger room, I remember and I remember being like, Eddie, like, don't ask them for that room. Like, we don't need to be spending another $1,000 a month or whatever it was. $500 for the other shared space room. And I was like, let's just keep our budget low. And then when we got this place, and I was like, all right, like that's kind of cool. But like, I don't know. I don't really have any sentimental value.
Yeah.
It's a great building, great location. We're gonna miss the location. I feel like
I am definitely gonna miss the location.
I mean,
I walk to work now.
The fact that we have just options everywhere. We have
Yeah.
every kind of fast food restaurant, some better restaurants. We have a sex shop across the street.
I'm going to have to hug it out with my guy over at Mexteco.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a sad breakup for you.
I don't know. I feel like should I ghost him? I've never broken up with a fast food guy before.
It ain't easy.
It's good
all
food,
day for tips.
Good food quickly. Yeah.
Your burrito dealer.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we're moving. Is over there.
Near burrito dealer.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though, Danny. Another thing that's funny, too, is like you said, the first office, one room was $450 a month, one room was $550.
Yeah.
And that it was flat. We're not talking like an extra fee for this, extra fee for that.
Right.
It was $1,000 a month for our first, how long, year and a half? 2 years almost?
Well, we got that
September
place.
18.
Yeah, before we were full time. Was it September?
Whatever. October.
September, October, yeah. And then we were there until June of 21. Of 21?
21, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that office was so much worse than people think too.
yeah.
It really
Yeah,
was. We really glamorized it, romanticized it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, a small little office. Like, there's 3 different businesses in here. There's a different dog jumping on me every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I get that a
How
lot.
did you survive that office?
Yeah.
There were a lot of dogs running around there.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
It was lovely. No one talks about that. Nobody talks about that, of course.
That's like your villain origin story from that office.
I get that a lot. Like people being like, "Oh, that's the best video," when Dave saw The Office.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was definitely some moments in there, but it was so fucking miserable, dude.
Yeah.
We couldn't get up. We couldn't open the door fully.
Yeah, well, remember we did the Bowman interview and like we were trying to like let in the general manager of the Blackhawks. Sorry, I have to squeeze through because we can't open the door.
Yeah.
You had to move the table a certain way to get the door
Yeah.
open all the way, and you couldn't open it all the way because then it would hit the Sirius and radio equipment.
Another fun fact about this place is everyone like, we got this big thing, like big investors. We also got like a screaming deal on this too.
Oh yeah, huge
Yeah,
deal because
like-
that was like during COVID.
It was during COVID, and I think like we signed like a 2-year lease because they were like taking a chance, be like, oh well, we'll see, because that was when the Dan motion really became
Right.
real, and so it was just a 2-year lease. And they're like, all right, we'll give you a great deal because they wanted us in the building.
Because I think when we moved in, the second floor was empty. Now I think there's a dentist office. You probably
Yeah.
heard
No,
about
it
this
was
podcast.
empty though.
Yeah.
They started building it after
Yeah.
like a year we were here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the deal they threw, I think Barstool pays like $4,000 a month for us to.
That's
make
it?
which is like
Yeah.
stealing.
Yeah.
Stealing. Obviously, if we would have stayed, it would have gone up astronomically. But just given the climate at the time,
Yeah, no.
and like them being like, "Hey, like we really want to work with you guys." The people who built R2, they were great.
They were great.
They were
and,
awesome.
And like they paid for the whole build out.
Yeah,
too.
they were great.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
fucking gave us above and beyond what we
Yep,
wanted
they were
and
awesome.
needed. So it was always like we got extremely lucky with this place.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I remember that.
We'll have to ask the question in like a year from now,
If we miss this place,
like what you'll remember.
I mean, hey, this is going to be like maybe, who knows? There's going to be memories made the next 3 months, because when everyone's here, it's going to be
Kind of chaotic.
like
yeah.
fitting the Brady Bunch into
Yeah.
a studio.
Yours,
Because-
mine, and ours.
Yeah, it's not that as big as everyone thinks.
Yeah.
So,
This is probably our last like semi-normal month because
yeah.
PFT will be here and Hank will be here with more regularity in July. They're not going to really be here in June.
Dan's coming mid-July.
Oh, is he coming
Yeah,
July
Dan's coming
too?
mid-July.
Okay, all
They're
right.
gonna be doing
For
the
some
yak
reason
out
I
of
thought
here
he
and
was
shit.
doing August. So
No, it's going to be,
Yeah.
it's going to be, you're right. This could probably be the last one. So
yeah,
it's crazy, man.
like we thought today was like, whew, there's people in here.
It's crazy when something gets talked about for so long actually happens.
Yeah,
You know, like what's something famous like that?
Oh,
Like a building being done. It's like, 20,
yeah.
34. It's like, oh my God, this is fun.
You know, I mean, it's kind of an easy analogy, but like the 2016 Cups, like Theo got here and they started building, and then,
Yeah.
like you're like piece by piece, they like the pieces start coming in slowly, and then it's like they finally win it.
Yeah.
But it was all like part of the plan for like, what was it, 5 years or 7 years? It's something he was there. So
I don't know why this one sticks out, and I know that it's flipped since, but student debt being relief. I was like, oh, there's no way. That's something that just easily say in their campaigns, and then for a second I was like, whoa,
yeah,
like we're all getting,
that happened.
But
we're all
then it
getting
didn't.
10 G's, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
So I guess it was
Yeah,
too good to be
true.
true.
yeah,
But there's also like examples
Avatar.
of, like things that had dates, you know,
yeah,
like The Irishman being made. It's like, oh, it's going to be ready in 2025, or,
Yeah.
you know, and shit like that.
That's a hard on the spot question.
It
I gotta
is.
think.
yeah.
There's definitely someone's going to tweet at us a great one.
Yeah.
I've s-
90
idiots in-
construction.
Yeah.
construction,
The Kennedy
yeah.
on the construction. Yeah. The
Yeah.
day that, if that ever gets done, we'll be saying that.
I'll just start doing another stretch
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
only
for
another
sure.
decade.
Let me ask you a question about this. I got into a debate with someone about this. What do you consider, I'll start with this. What do you consider a middle child?
I got in this debate recently too.
Did you?
Yeah.
So I would say I was a middle child. I am no longer. So, well, listen, because there's 4 kids in my family, but my brother came along so much later. So I had an older sister and a younger sister, and that was it for the first 10 years of my life. So I was like, I'm the quintessential middle of 3 children. And then when my brother was born, I don't know, like that dynamic kind of shifted. And I felt like the oldest boy or the second oldest. So
Are you saying middle child as like a mindset?
Well, it's Do you first? Okay, we'll get into if you believe in it or not.
Okay.
But how many? You're 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're both 4.
Yeah.
All right, I'm 3.
Okay.
Okay, I'm the youngest. Mm-hmm. But would you guys say there's a true middle child in your families with 4 people?
I guess it would probably be my younger sister would probably claim that, and maybe from like a personality standpoint too.
So here's the thing: if you had to choose, it would definitely be me. But a girl was asking me, like, how many siblings you have? I was like, oh, I was like the third born of 4. And she's like, oh, middle child. I'm like, well, there can't be like a middle of 4.
Thank you. That's my point. I agree with you. I think it has to be odd to have a true middle.
Yes.
And this person argued, no, the 2 in the middle are the middles.
I think.
But if you're going by the mindset, like my sisters are both only a year apart. They're like 35 and 34. Then there's me, and there's my brother who's 5 years younger than me.
You're the middle child.
By the mindset definition,
Yeah.
yes. But if someone's like, are you a middle child? And you say, yeah, I was third born of 4, like that's by definition not middle.
But I think if you have 2 definitive bookends of something, kind of almost everything else is, or does it get to be a point where the family? So my mom's one of 9. I feel like that family has an oldest and a youngest and nothing else.
Sure, there's so
yeah.
many.
Yeah.
But I just don't agree with it. Families don't work like double stuffed Oreos. You know, they're only singular. You know, the 2 with the extra cream does not make sense.
So I think now the more I'm thinking about it, because now I've known several families that have 5 kids. The third born is like, he's not the middle child. You know, like he's right. So it's the middle child thing is only if you have 3 kids.
Yes,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah.
Or 5.
No, I just said 5.
Wait, what do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. His would be middle. He said third born of
Like,
5,
they
so
don't-
2 older
Are
and 2
there
younger
5
than
of you?
him.
No.
he's saying
I
his
know families
Sorry.
where they have like
misheard that.
the
he knows
kid-
middle children.
Yeah, where they have 5 kids, and it's like, I would say it's a small sample size, but in that instance, the third born child does not exhibit like those classic middle child like tropes where they're like, oh, like I'm ignored, I'm this, I'm that. It's like they're just, I don't know, in the middle. You know, like it's not like I feel like the middle child syndrome that people talk about is only for the second child of 3.
Okay, so you could arguably be oldest or youngest and still have middle child syndrome. If you're getting neglect, like say your younger siblings are always getting attention, and you get that syndrome mindset of like, oh, no one's paying attention to me, I'm getting neglected.
Maybe I am a middle child.
So do you believe in it then?
That syndrome?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the syndrome, then we're talking about numbers.
Yeah.
The syndrome.
I believe in numbers.
The syndrome specifically.
Yeah.
We've moved on.
Yeah.
Sure. Why do you ask? Like, I feel like we've been, like, parents may have been made more aware of it. Like, oh, don't neglect the middle child. But does the person born in the middle tend to have the most issues of their siblings? Probably not. Like, being middle child is pretty beneficial in some ways. Your older siblings get in all the trouble. Your parents take it easier on you. Then, like, they're focused too much on the young kid, worried about him while you're doing your own thing.
That's not how it played out in my family.
How'd it play?
I think a lot of people would argue that too.
What?
That middle child is definitely
Well, like I would say my older sister gave my parents like no problems, like none whatsoever. And then I came along, and I'm 2 years younger than her, and they had some issues with me. I would say. So like I didn't get the benefit of like they have experience dealing with the older child who's getting into trouble. I remember she got in trouble once, and it was like she didn't even do anything. And I got in trouble a lot.
Like the curfew age got a little later. Come the third kid, like first one had to be home by 9:30.
So,
I'm staying out till 11.
I would say that was the thing for the baby of the family. Like you being the first boy and the baby, you probably
I had it good. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna deny that at all. I will never deny that.
Yeah.
I had it very
Yep.
very easy when
Yeah.
it came to that.
You get first dibs on pancakes in the morning and all that.
Yeah. My oldest sister would argue, like, she's like, yeah, that exists, you know, but I don't really remember it.
Your
Yes.
older
It
sister,
much.
who would be the middle child, you're saying?
The oldest one who would say her sister.
What's the
my
age
sister,
gap between you guys?
3 through 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very middle.
Yes. Very middle.
Yeah.
Very middle. I think personally, it's easier to trait only children,
Oh, yeah.
the only child.
Big
Yeah.
time. Spot them from across the room.
Yeah.
I mean, pros and cons, but you could definitely tell who they are sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It depends, though. There could have been like a lone wolf who his neighborhood buddies were like his brothers, so they taught him all that kind of stuff.
That's like one of my good buddies. Like we reference him quite a bit, but he's an only child. But he did do like the prep school thing, and he went to prep school at 14. So like at that point, like you're just surrounded by kids your own age without like like you get a little bit of that.
You'll notice little things like they can't wait their turn. Or
Well, but also like you're not like under your parents' watchful eye. They're doing everything for you all the time. The way like I envision only children, the weirdo ones are.
Yeah, but dude, it's not their fault though.
Not
Imagine if you had a life where you had a toy and nobody tried to rip it out of your hands.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
I have scars from my sisters from fighting over the remote.
Oh, dude,
like it's character building.
Yeah,
that's 100%.
Or like one of you trying to go online while the other tries to use the phone back in the day. That caused wars.
Yes.
Oh my god, the AOL, dude.
Imagine just getting to go on AOL Instant Messenger whenever you wanted growing up.
Yeah, dude, sibling battles were
getting
wild.
TV
I feel
time.
like I don't know. Like I was kind of like I didn't really have them.
I always had the trump card against my sister because she hated throw up. So whenever
you puke on command.
No, I wouldn't puke on her. That would like if I was puking on you guys, put me in an institution.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
see,
like,
I hate
I
dogs.
could see
on
like
my
a
forehead.
7-year-old Ed be like, I'm gonna puke.
No,
on her.
I would. Come on, bro. That's too much. That's a bridge too far. I would fake. I would like make the noise. Like,
Yeah.
Or I'd like act like I was about to be sick, and she'd run for the fucking hills.
Just throw the remote and run.
Run for the hills, dude.
Yeah.
Run for
Addy.
the hills. She'd be gone. But yeah, you didn't really have any battles.
I mean, my younger sister and I had battles, but not like.
So say you're like 13 living in your home, because I know your brother's
Yep.
so much younger than you.
Yeah.
What are the ages of your siblings when you're 13?
I would have a 10-year-old younger sister and a 15-year-old older sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty close then.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. It was just like, it was not stuff like that. It was like kind of almost like more serious. And it got to the point where I'm like, I'm just not even going to do anything or say anything.
Oh,
Just
really?
ignore everything. But I think they're super close now, but I think my sisters probably had more like traditional sibling battles and like they're girls, right? They like take the clothes and like, I'm using the bathroom, that kind of stuff. And we're like have a little earthquake in the back here, losing picture frames.
This is what we'll remember most about this office.
Yeah,
People constant construction.
Constant.
You know what? Actually, I have an answer to that. Dave's car just getting beat to shit in the back.
Yeah.
Squeezing into those parking spots. That would be.
What's the ideal siblings? Like older brother or younger brother, older sister, you get two. One older, one younger.
It's tough because I didn't have a brother, so I've always wanted a brother.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather it be older or younger brother?
It's a good question. I mean, the older, like you have it good if he's great. You know what I mean?
But
way.
but you're also getting fucked with a lot.
That's why I've always said like I like our family dynamic. Like 2 boys, 2 girls, because everybody's got a brother, everybody's got a sister. Like you're kind of like you're good. Like 2 and 2, I feel like is a pretty good number.
Yeah, but both of you guys had younger brothers. They reap the benefits of your foundation.
It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies.
I think he would have some complaints.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it was like, I think he had it easier in some ways, but then he would always say, and I like made a point because there was one time when he was in I think he was in high school, like probably like 15, something like that, and he was just getting shit for, I don't even remember what it was, but he's just like, man, I got 5 parents. And I'd be like, oh, you know what? That sucks. Like, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah, that's tough.
And it was true. Because, like, my sister, Michaela, like, the older one, my brother never had, like, a babysitter because she was 12 when he was born. So anytime, like, like, she's babysitting age. So she was just, like, she was the babysitter from the time he was born. So it was just, like, everybody was kind of... I think there was like that teenage phase where everybody was just kind of in his shit. And I'm sure that would fucking suck.
Yeah.
Because if your parents didn't catch you, that doesn't mean one of your siblings didn't. And they still like are old enough to be like, hey, you shouldn't be fucking doing that.
For sure.
I can't jerk off anywhere in this house.
Yeah.
But still, that must have been a great feeling to be in a position where you get to that first day of school and it's like, oh, little Conrad. You know what I mean? That's nice.
Yeah, but we also
You're already on a good foot.
We moved around
Or
so
bad.
much.
Or bad, true.
Yeah, we moved around so much. I don't think he got that.
He didn't get that benefit.
Yeah.
True. Whereas opposite, if you're your younger brother, you just boss that asshole around.
Yeah. Well, that would be the thing. Like, I remember doing like, and it was very easy for me to like drop down to his maturity level. Like, I would just, like, I like to wrestle. I like to do all those things. I like to teabag
him?
No, tease him. I would like do the thing where I would
Stepbrothers.
I would like pin him down and pretend to like spit in his face.
Oh, okay.
Like I would do the slurp, where
Yeah.
you're like I'm gonna, and I would do stuff like that. But I don't know. I had a great time doing that. Harry knows. Harry's been friends with my brother since they were like 6. So
we had a Nerf basketball hoop in my bedroom growing up, and I shared one with my brother, and I created a game called Dan Ball, where I would just lay on the couch, not even move, and if I make it in, it's 2 points, and he has to both catch the rebound and put it up, and it'll be 1 point. And I just convinced him that was a good game, and it was just me wanting to not move at all. We talking about bossing him around. Me and Eddie made my younger brother come on our old podcast. Just exchanging war family stories.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Can we talk about like his problem?
Yeah, you're saying, oh, must be so nice having an older brother just on live shows talking about it.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, I mean,
I shouldn't have too.
We made it sound a lot worse. His problem. He just had terrible sleep apnea growing up, and he's like a blonde little boy.
Yeah,
you would not think like he's not overweight at all.
Yeah.
Thin guy, yeah.
But like I said, I share a room with him, so I'd hear the snoring. Like we're talking, he stops breathing. Like I'm giving him CPR in the night sometime, and it got so bad. And eventually, I went away to school, and I'm just hearing rumors around town that my brother's falling asleep everywhere. And one day, I had neighbors who were like my age and like drove him to school and stuff. And so I like brothers' friends sending me Snapchats. And like this kid fell asleep in a different class like every day, one day. And I called my parents like, yeah, he's just been like super tired. I don't know what's going on. And so then he found out he had sleep apnea. He had to get his tonsils out and everything. And this kid, for some reason, not even a great student, no offense, but he was determined to not miss a day of school. And while he had this sleep apnea, they said it was like he wasn't getting real sleep. That's why I just kept falling asleep everywhere. He's like, I'm still not missing school. I'd rather bomb this test than miss school. Whatever. Weird hill to die on. Weird set of principles. But then come graduation day, he ended up not even getting like perfect attendance award after all that. Some other kid got it. I don't know how it works. All politics.
Damn.
Dude, and I didn't really understand. And you probably still don't understand.
You gotta see these
Ryan,
videos.
and people listening don't understand. The video that he showed me, my jaw was on the
apnea?
floor. Yeah, of him in class.
Oh,
just
zonked.
sitting at a school desk, and he was like the wavy drunk guy who's like trying to walk home, who like can't. Yeah, it was wild.
I used to
But,
post it every year for his birthday. Just doing play-by-play. Oh, here we go.
I had that. I fell asleep in class one time. It was a sophomore year in high school, where it was like, all right, like it was English class and we were supposed to like read, and I was just like, put my head down, the whole desk covered in drool, just drool fucking everywhere from being zonked, and then you're like trying to wipe it up with like your sleeve. Is disgusting. So it happens to the best of us.
The last brother story. So he's saying, oh, it must be so nice to have a younger brother. You get to boss him around and everything. Well, it comes with some cons too. There was one spring break where I had like this deathly sinus infection, and I was on medication and everything. And it's like a Saturday night, 2 a.m. I'm passed out. All of a sudden I feel a nudge, and I open my eyes, and my brother's just standing before my bed. It seemed like he was doing some underage drinking, and I'm still in a blur. And all of a sudden he goes, "Sorry, I thought you were the bathroom." So I'm like, no, what am I about to look at? And so I look down, and there's just puke covering all my legs, my comforters, and everything. And like, we've been living in this home for a good 10 years at this point. You have to make some very wrong turns to get to my bedroom before you get to the bathroom. So there was really no rhyme or reason. I still have some reason to believe it might have been an inside job, but
Might have been Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie put him up to it, the puke guy.
So yeah, it wasn't all bossing around and teaching him new tricks. Sometimes you got puked on in the middle of the night.
The other downside of having a younger brother, especially like the age gap, like the first time you start losing to him in sports is a humbling moment. Like a pickup basketball game in the driveway. I think I was probably like 25 and he was like 15 or like 26 and he was 16, something like that. And I remember I would always like our whole lives, I would like design games where like he would get the ball at the very end and have a shot and I'd swat it away and like win. It was was very satisfying. And he would punt the ball and run off crying. It was awesome. And then when he and then he was out, they were living in Connecticut. And so I hadn't like seen him and he like grew a little bit and he was like doing sports. So he was like better shape, yoked, and like quick. And I had like begun my descent down. And
The health crisis began.
Yeah. Phase one of the health crisis. And it was like, well, I guess we're just never ever playing again.
That's it. Game over.
That was it. Yeah.
At what point does the age being older no longer become a benefit? So like if he was like, oh, you should beat me. You're 26. I'm 16. It's like,
No. Yeah. I mean, I would say
around 26.
for like, I'm also like bigger. Like I'm just like a bigger person. So I think like if we were like, I don't know, like wrestling around, I would think I would probably still get him. But like anything that's like running or quickness or anything like that, like that went away a long time ago.
Got you quick.
Yeah.
It came fast.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, like this isn't even fun. This isn't even remotely fun.
Yeah.
Well, would you rather have a younger sister or an older sister? Back to the perfect sibling conversation. You have two older sisters. What would you want with a younger sister? Comb her hair? Play dolls?
I guess you'd probably want an older one. I think so, right?
So you'd be older sister, younger brother?
Yeah. Probably. I think so. You'd probably want, right? I would
So you
say
just chose to be in the middle.
Well, there'd be more. Hypothetically.
You do the 4.
Well, if I had one brother and one sister.
Yeah.
So if I just eliminated one of them.
Yeah.
What wouldn't you want of all those? Older sister, older brother, younger sister, younger brother.
Dude, it's hard because at the end of the day, like if they're not a fuck, you're fine. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's-
But like, you know,
they're good, you're fine.
If you got a sister maybe 2 years younger than you at the same school,
That could be tough.
Yeah, even if
Yeah.
exactly.
you don't want her dating your buddy?
Yeah,
Shit like that.
yeah, like that. That's always been.
That's how my parents met.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad's college friend. He married his sister.
Really?
Yeah. So they met at my uncle's wedding for the first time. That was the first time they met. And then I think they were both living in Boston or something.
You get to that age, I feel like it's fine though.
Sure.
You get to wedding ages, and it's like, oh, they met at a wedding.
Depends on who you ask.
I'm not even
some people like draw really hard lines around dating their friends.
I'm not even saying that that's a bad thing, but it's probably the worse than any of the bad parts of having a younger brother, older sister.
Yeah.
Or I mean, older sister could apply, but
That was always like a fun thing to like tease one of your buddies with. You know, like I remember we had one kid, his sister on our hockey team was so fucking hot. She was like the hottest girl in the world. And and we had a kid who was a year younger than us. It was in her grade. And we'd be like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Like, and her brother would be like sitting right there, like, you gonna get laid? And you'd be like, fuck, don't say that. Like, they're just like, hey, and it was fun. It was like a fun thing to like tease the brother with the hot sister.
Oh, I have a good friend who's a twin. And
Go on.
It's a girl twin sister, and like it's tough having to hear some rumors at school. I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, like what is the conversation like when you get home? You're not even talking about that, right?
No,
you can't.
Can't.
But there's probably
But I
some
think
like,
they
hey, how
do.
about you keep it a little more private?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But what a brutal situation for the sister. It's like you're
just living life, yeah.
you're living life, and then you're constantly living your life like, oh fuck, is this gonna get back to him?
You can't live life like that. You just there's got to be a pact. They have the twin telepathy shit. Like, let's not talk about sex stories at the dinner table.
Let's just keep it
PG.
Keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Keep it quiet. Yeah, I don't know. Wild shit, right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
I think that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
I talked enough about my family.
You're thinking deeply. You look like you're intently thinking here.
Yeah, I got like some stories, but I think I'm going to sit on them.
I was saying no because I know Chief has shoulder surgery this afternoon, and I don't want to keep.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
just the picture, just getting a picture.
Are you
just
concerned that
semi.
it's going to happen?
So I went to the doctor, I think about exactly a week ago, and he was just like feeling around and like having me like rotate a certain way, and it like pops. Like there was a time where like it popped. It's like it doesn't really hurt right now, like, but if I like reach for my backpack or do something, I could feel something like kind of go over and snap. And he's like, "Oh, I think this is a rotator cuff. We got to get a look at it."
Oof, can't be wrestling the brother anytime soon.
Yeah, or the problem was the nephews, because nephews are 5'7" and 2, and they just all they want to do is have me like throw them around.
A 7-year-old's dangerous.
Oh, he's a fucking load.
He'll punch
Wild
you in the
thornberries,
teeth and
dude.
nothing twice.
Well, he also just has no fear and no regard for his own body. Like he just comes like we'll play football and he'll just come flying at me like a missile. I'm like, what are you like? You are going to get hurt, and then I get hurt. So,
And by you, I mean me.
yeah.
Well, hey, better than Jacob deGrom. He needs Tommy John, which I know is your elbow, but still.
Yeah, it's also my left shoulder. So if they're like, "Hey, like this probably require," because I was KFC, like I did a tweet about like, should I just ignore this forever? And KFC texted me and was like, he's like, he's got famous shoulder problems where he had to have like the crazy surgery where he's in the hospital bed. He's got like the thing going through his throat or whatever that was, and he's like, you should just get that taken care of. He's like, it was like a kind of a sad thing. He's like, I can't throw a ball with my kid the way I would want to because my shoulder's fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to get it looked at. And then I was at the doctor. I'm like, that's my left shoulder. The fuck do I need a left shoulder for? I could do everything with my right.
Can't bet.
I can't really golf. I found that out the hard way.
Oh,
Yeah.
That alone might be reason enough to get it.
Yeah, but I'm not like it was like the first round with the TaylorMades. And I was like, this is like, I love these clubs, but my shoulder by the end was hurting.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for watching. That's it for today's Free Swim. We'll be back tomorrow. We will see you then.